Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast Intersections, Mission to Innovate. This is our interview series where we bring in practitioners from different disciplines to share their insights and real-world stories. Kuan Collins and Prachi are the hosts of this podcast that's created through the Samaya Studio. Kuan, can you get us started today?
Thanks, Gracie. Yes, of course. Hi everyone. As you may know, through Samaya Studio, we talk about the role of multidimensional thinking in fostering the innovation ecosystem. Through this interview series, that is what we are looking to do, to bring that perspective from multiple dimensions from the eyes of technologists, strategists, innovators, and even mindfulness experts. Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast today. In the studio, we have Cliff Cantrell and Luc Manigot from Sinequa, and we're so excited to talk to them today about innovation and the technology they bring through Sinequa. So without further ado, I would like them to introduce themselves to you. So we'll start with Cliff.
Thank you very much, Dr. Collins. Hello, my name is Cliff Cantrell. I'm Vice President of Customer Success for Sinequa, and it's my pleasure to be here and looking forward to talking to you.
Hello, I'm Luc Manigot. I'm VP Center of Excellence at Sinequa. Thank you a lot for this invitation. At Sinequa, I'm in charge of services, training, assistance, support. So I'm really eager to share my experience on what Sinequa can do on this market.
Awesome. So Cliff, let's start with introducing what Sinequa is.
All right. Thank you very much. So Sinequa is a search technology at the highest level. And search is one of these phrases that's so ubiquitous that it really has lost its meaning and it's difficult for people to understand. So probably to give an understanding to everyone, it's useful for us to back up to the very beginning. So Sinequa was founded back in the 1990s, and it was founded as a research institute pursuing natural language processing. Luc, who is here with me today, was on the team at that point in time, so he brings a lot of experience from that point. And at that point, as a research institute, the pursuit was academic, understanding how computers could understand language. But it didn't really have a defined business value proposition. And so our current CEO had just taken his company public and had money burning a hole in his pocket and was looking for an exciting project to work on as an engineer's engineer. And he saw this technology and was excited by it and knew that something could be made from it. So he created a corporation around that research institute and has worked to commercialize that technology. And in so doing, what he did is built a framework of search technologies to be able to support that natural language processing. And the core problem that he's really trying to address is that users didn't have access to a Google-like experience to find and discover the assets that existed within their firewalls at large corporations. And this is a ubiquitous problem. It's out there everywhere. And the problem is that most of the data that exists within organizations is not structured. Organizations are really, really good at working with structured data, and unstructured data is a gold mine that really has yet to be mined. And so Sinequa, our technology as it's evolved over the years, is bringing together structured and unstructured data. And so we have developed a complete platform that provides that natural language processing at our core, which allows the interface between computers and human language. We also provide connectors so that we can get out and connect to any data stores that exist within the enterprise. And we support security, and we respect native security protocols. So often our customers self-select to being highly secure industries that we work with. But when we think of Google for Enterprise, most people think of internet search, and that really doesn't go far enough. Internet search is required to support all of the members of an organization. And as such, it has to hit that lowest common denominator. And so it doesn't really do a great job of supporting anyone. And what we have found is that our niche is in supporting the find and discover journey for specialist populations, those smart people who need knowledge to do the important work that they're doing and be able to drive innovation.
That's awesome. I'm so excited as I hear you guys talk and describe this technology and what you've done for your customers. And, as we've talked in previous episodes about the need for better knowledge management to promote cultures of innovation, Sinequa really captures what we've been talking about in previous discussions. So tell us more about how a technology like Sinequa, from your perspective, is utilized to promote a culture of innovation.
Certainly. Certainly. When I think about Sinequa, I think that our core purpose is generally to drive innovation for organizations. And the mental model that I use when I think about what we can do for a company is really based on the way the company drives value. So all organizations in general are creating value in some way. And this is necessary so that they can extract profits and exist. And the model that I use to think about this traces back to Michael Porter. So Michael Porter had theorized that all businesses are competing either on price or on differentiation. And further, he theorized that differentiation can only be achieved temporarily until a competitor catches up and scalps the profits. So therefore, these companies that choose to compete on differentiation must continually be innovating to maintain their differentiation. And so this leads us to the two ways that I segment our customers. So there's operational efficiency. These are companies that compete on price. These companies create value by doing the same thing over and over again more efficiently and inexpensively than their competitors. And the leaders in these companies are staying up at night worrying about wasted pennies and how they can make their operations go as efficiently as possible. This is a space where we work, and we've proven that we can drive value for these organizations. But it's not the part that really excites me and keeps me coming back to the office day in and day out. The other set of companies that we work with, these are innovation companies. And the C-suite of innovation companies are really staying up at night worrying about how they're going to invent the next big thing, how they're going to open up the next market. And it turns out that Sinequa's unique strength in natural language processing, combined with our ability to connect and process any information anywhere, makes us really uniquely positioned to help the brilliant minds that these companies tasked with creating innovation that are going to become the products of tomorrow. And so if you think about it, innovation, really evolving the state of the art, is inherently about going off into the unknown and charting a new course. And search is the only mechanism to help companies explore new domains of knowledge. Other knowledge management technologies really focus on curating knowledge. But since innovation is inherently exploratory, the information needed to innovate can never be curated. If someone could tell you really what information is going to inspire the next breakthrough innovation, they would have already made that breakthrough themselves. And that's why a technology like ours that automatically makes infinite connections through an incomprehensibly large corpus of information is the only solution to helping innovators evolve the state of the art. And these infinite connections allow the brilliant minds that these companies are paying lots and lots of money for to chart their own course of exploration and see the connections that no one else has ever seen before. And this is really exciting to me. And it excites our customers. And our customers are telling us that we're the only technology that can do this at the scale that they need to operate. And this is because the information stores that these companies are working with are vast and diverse. So a leading scientific company tells us that we are the only company that can bring together the internal and external scientific information that their bench scientists need to uncover the next breakthrough scientific innovation. Major aerospace and defense customers tell us that we are the only ones who can connect their engineering systems and models that they need to be able to build the next generation of rockets. And a leading pharmaceutical company tells us that we are the only company that can provide their statisticians with the information they need to identify those next life-saving therapies. And this is all very, very exciting to me. What drives me and motivates me as I'm coming into the office is thinking about how our technology supports the innovations of the future.
Cliff, I enjoyed listening to what you were saying, and the point that you made about drawing those connections between the exploratory nature of search and culture of innovation, I thought that was a fascinating insight, and thank you for that. As you know, in our podcast, which is named Intersections, we are big on finding those kinds of connections and intersections. In fact, in episode 1 of our podcast, in which we talk about interorganizational collaboration, we talk about strategic partnerships as a key collaboration structure, especially in an organization's early journey. So let me take the conversation in a bit of a different direction. When product companies like Sinequa are helping customers in their digital transformation journey, what might be some of your recommended first steps? As in, like, what do you care for or suggest initially? Luc, do you want to answer that?
I think there is a lot of definition and theory behind this digital transformation keyword.
Mm-hmm.
And let's make it simple. And as Clifford said before, let's make a quick parallel with the internet and with the Google search experience. Basically, on the internet, what Google succeeded on is a digital transformation of human being day life. And that's the point. And basically, what is about is only replacing manual activities and time spent by employees by something smooth, smarter, quicker, just to avoid waste of time, just to avoid seeking for hidden information at any time. Now, on the internet, that's pretty easy to access any kind of information because you know how to make it happen. In the enterprise, that's the challenge today. So when we say, from where should we start talking about setting up a digital transformation initiative within the company, I will go first to the end users. And I would ask them, where are you struggling? Where are you spending the most of time? Where are you wasting your time? How could we help you by accelerating your task with providing you with an immediate access to the right information at the right time? And when we say the right information, it's not only the right document, And when you think about search engine, everybody thinks about, okay, we'll need to find an ordered list of relevant documents after a search is typed. Here it's more like this. It's accessing the right information, the right data. So when we are interacting within a company, usually we are seeking to find the right person to help us. We are seeking to find a very precise information. We are seeking for a 360-degree view of a topic, of a subject, of a location. So that's typically what a modern enterprise search can bring, and that's exactly what we can realize. So basically, let's listen first to the end users. Let them express where they are struggling, and then we can define the right implementation and the right value proposition. So that's part of the digital transformation journey.
I love that answer. Start with your end users, right? Because it's all about the delivery of that customer success. It's like your title, Clifford. This is all about helping to make sure that we're bringing outcomes to the people that need them. So I could talk with you guys all day because this is super fun. But our last question, directed at Luc, is about challenges and barriers. So, all of this makes so much sense, right? Why wouldn't we want to do things like this? Why wouldn't we want an enterprise search capability in our organizations? And yet there's so many organizations still today, right, that are struggling with this problem. So what is going on? Why is this so hard? What are the barriers that we're seeing that are preventing organizations from thinking about how to solve this problem with a technology like Sinequa?
So I think there are two categories. There are two set of concerns and challenges to handle. The first ones are purely technical ones, how to access the right information, how to access the data itself. And in the enterprise, it's not only about having a few formats like PDF or Office documents that are all accessible to everyone. We are dealing with tens of different content management systems. All of them are rich and specific and very special according to their inventors. And also within this content management system, we'll be dealing with multiple document formats. We'll be dealing with multiple languages. So everything brings with huge amount of challenges to access the right information at the right time. So that's the technology barriers. And there is also a social one, I would say, more constraint, which is providing an access to almost everything with respect to security and with respect to access rights, data privacy. And this is challenging because on the organizational standpoint, people have built their data silos. They have constructed their own data sources, and they are kind of protecting them till today. So now we are talking about knowledge management. We are talking about knowledge sharing. We are talking about accessing broadly to many sources at a time. But we have to reassure the data remains protected with high security respect, because of course we have to respect that. It's a must-have. It's not an option.
Right.
The broad and the enterprise-wide enterprise search project didn't come before because it was a real technical challenge plus a social challenge and a human challenge to address.
Absolutely. Like most things, right? The technology part sometimes is the easier thing to implement versus the cultural and human aspect of the problem that we're trying to solve. So thank you both for your willingness to come and visit us today in the podcast studio. And thank you, Prachi, as always. And we look forward to our continued partnership here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks a lot.
I think this wraps up this episode. Thank you to Luc, Cliff, Prachi, and Kuan for another spectacular episode. The I2C welcomes you, Sinequa, to Huntsville and our building. Bye, everyone. Make sure you stay connected by following us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at UAH I2C. And check out Samaya Studio on LinkedIn. Onward and upward.